All right, let's go.
Copy a line segment. I went ahead and put dots on the ends of mine so it was a little easier. I make a new point. I'm going to call it C. And then what I do is I put my compass point on one end, so A, and then I make my compass width go to B. I go down here, and I make an arc. And any point on this arc, I'm going to make a point, and I'm going to call it D. Then I'm going to take my straight edge, and I'm going to connect C to D. And I've made two congruent line segments, so congruent marks look like this. And my congruency statement is line segment AB is congruent to line segment CD. Obviously, if you use different letters, it's going to be a little bit different congruent statement than mine. Number 2 says construct a midpoint and label it M. So I'm going to put points on the ends, and the midpoint, I take my compass point and put on one end point, and I open it more than halfway, and I make an arc. Okay, keeping the same compass width, I flip it to the other end point, and I make an arc. The two intersections, one above and one below, I'm going to connect those. And the point that goes through the line becomes the midpoint. So this segment, DM, is congruent to this segment, CM. So I'm going to make a statement. I'm going to say DM, line segment, is congruent to line segment CM. All right, copy a given angle. So I want to copy this angle right here. I'm going to put my compass point on the vertex. I'm going to open it to a medium width, and I'm going to make an arc across both legs. At this point, I'm going to put points on each leg. I keep the same compass width, but if I wanted to change it, I could. Actually, I may change it just a little bit. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Okay, and I'm going to make an arc. Now, from this point to when I flip it over here, I need the same distance. So between here and here, this distance is the same. I just messed up. Pause it.
There you go.
So I'm going to make a ray. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make an arc. And then I'm going to go down here and I'm going to make that same arc down here. And then I'm going to measure from here to here. I'm going to measure it here to here to the intersection. And I'm going to measure from here to here on this intersection. And then that's a point. And I'm going to connect the vertex to that point. And I'm going to label this point A, and I'm going to label this point B, and I'm going to label this point C. And this is R and S and T. Obviously the points could be different letters, but this is angle SRT, and it is congruent to angle ACB. So that's how you copy a given angle. All right, we're going to go to number 4, bisect an angle. That's the original video that some of you guys got that, then I did that. All right, I'm going to put my compass on the vertex. I'm going to make an arc that intersects both legs. From this point right here from the intersections, I'm going to make an interior arc. Hopefully you do a better compass job than I do. That intersection right there, I'm going to connect the intersection with the vertex. And so I've made two angles that are congruent. I'm going to label this A, B, and C. So this angle right here is angle ADB, and it's congruent to angle CDB. All right, construct a perpendicular line MN through point G. So I'm going to put a point G, and then I put my compass on G, and I open my compass a little bit wider. Now, some of you guys came up to me and asked me, you said, well, my line's not long enough. Well, that's okay. I can fix that. I can just extend my line. So don't let that freak you out. So here's the point, and here's the point. So basically, I've said, hey, I've got a big line, and I don't want all of it. I just want a section of it. And then you go over here to this point right here. You put your compass point on the end point, and you open it to more than halfway. Since my G is above, I'm going to make my intersection below. And then I'm going to go over here to M and it's below. So then I'm going to connect G to this intersection below. And I've made perpendicular. And this part right here, if I'm just dealing with this line, it's a bisector, but we're just dealing with a perpendicular statement. So this is M, this is N, this is O, P. So I'm going to take this angle right here, ONG, and I'm going to tell you that it's perpendicular. Perpendicular is an upside down to MNG. All right, you want to pause that?
Okay.
All right, number 6 says construct a line parallel to line GT. So I want a parallel line, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a point here. So I'm going to call this, I'm going to label my points at the end. And I'm just going to make a forward slash like that. And what I want to do is basically I'm copying this angle here, and if this angle and this angle, those are called corresponding angles, match, then we're going to have the same angle length. So basically I'm copying an angle. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to make an arc right here. And then I'm going to lift my compass point up to this point right here, and I'm going to make that same arc. Now, I'm going to go back down here and I'm going to measure between this point and this point. So I'm going to put my compass point, see my pointy end? I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to put my pencil here, okay? So I'm going to do the same thing. Actually, I have to flip it around. I apologize for that. So my compass point here and my pencil here. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to put my compass point here and my pencil goes here. So I have an intersection. And then I'm going to connect these two together. So these lines are parallel. That's the symbol for parallel when you're indicating symbols, just like we did congruent tick marks over here. This is the symbol for parallel. So I'm going to call this line GT, and I'm going to call this line XY. So line XY is parallel to line GT. That's the symbol for parallels. It looks like two L's or maybe two forward slashes. All right, thank you.